Hola, it's your girl Bella B. I'm on here today doing day 13 of the Content Creator Challenge. And today's video is all about sexuality. And especially for ladies, since I am a lady myself, certain ladies that deal with this type of sexuality in particular called being a nympho. Or being nymphomatic. Some people call it hypersexuality, whatever you want to call it. Today's video is on 3 ways that you know that you're a nympho. So let's just jump right into it. First of all, some people are probably asking, well, Blair, that's a weird ass subject. First of all, like, how the how the fuck you gonna tell me if I'm a nympho or not? You know what I mean? Um, well, simple, cause I'm a nympho. Takes one to know one. You know what I mean? That's the saying out here. So, um, this is something that I've kind of dealt with for the majority of my life. Um, and I didn't even realize it, to be honest, until I got to be a little bit older and actually like started having sex. Um, because when you're like going through puberty and you got all these hormones racing, you just thinking, my body's changing. That's what everybody told me. So it's like, oh, I'm just thinking about stuff like this because my body's changing. I'm getting older, whatever, right? So if you're one of these people, one of these young ladies that's thinking to themselves like, yo, why am I always thinking about sex? So point number one, how you know that you're an info? You're always thinking about sex. Like all the time. Like, okay, out of 100% of the time, 80% of the time, you're thinking about sex in some way, shape, or form. Even if it could be something that's completely unsexually related to whatever's going on in your life, you are thinking about sex. So that's the first thing to know. Like, you know, you know how people say you are what you eat. You kind of are what you think at the same time. So if you're always thinking about sex, you may be an info. I know that since I don't even know, like probably since before I started having sex, I would often fantasize about sex. I would often think about sex. I would often like just be thinking about sex for no reason of my like that I knew of. But now that I'm, an adult, I know it's because I'm an info, right? But originally, it was like I didn't understand. I didn't get it. I didn't know why I kept thinking about sex all the time. And why I would be like, it would be random things. Like, okay, for instance, 1 minute you're talking to somebody, you're having a conversation with somebody, and then all of a sudden you're talking about something, completely fruit. You're thinking of you're talking to somebody about fruit, right? Talking to somebody about fruit, and then all of a sudden you just start thinking about dick. You thinking about dick, you thinking about sex, you thinking about all these different things because somebody mentioned a banana and your ass turned it into something completely different. You dig me? That's how you know your ass is an info, okay? That's how you know. It's like always on your mind, always on your mind. You're always thinking to yourself like, oh my God, like, you just think about sex. Even if you've never had sex before, that's crazy. I know some people are like, what? How you gonna be thinking about something you never had before? But it's sex is all around us. So it's not like, when somebody say they're a virgin, they only a virgin in the sense of not having sex. But they seen somebody have sex before most times. Then, they've heard someone having sex sometimes. Just sex is all around us. So it's easy to think about sex even if you're a virgin and you've never had sex before and you're just like, oh my god, like why am I always thinking about this? If you're thinking to yourself, I'm a pervert. I don't know about y'all. I grew up very religious in a religious background, religious household. So it's like blasphemy for me to even post this damn video. Let alone talk about it and get into it with somebody, right? But we're gonna do that shit anyway. Because it is what it is. And I feel like it probably possibly can help a young lady that's thinking to herself like, oh my gosh, I'm just so dirty, like I'm just so this, or I'm just so perverted or whatever, because she's constantly thinking about sex and she don't even know that this is normal. This is something that this is something that a lot of women go through, but they probably don't talk about it half the time. So that's number one. Always thinking about sex, always worried about sex, or if you never even had sex before, but some reason why you just keep having pictures and flashes of sexual contact for some reason, you might be an Nympho. And the second thing is, um, the second thing is masturbation. So if you're a Nympho and you, I'm not gonna say constantly masturbating, but you seek out sexual attention. Even if it's something like, I'm not gonna say just masturbation, because for a long time I didn't masturbate because, like I said, I grew up really religious and I didn't think that it was okay for me to masturbate. I didn't think that it would be appropriate. I know some people are like, what? How is that not appropriate? But some people understand what I'm saying. Some ladies right now are like, yeah, that's how I be feeling sometimes. You know what I mean? So hopefully, you understand that it's completely natural to masturbate. For one, it's completely natural. Everybody masturbates, gets it in. It's a sexual urge. Everybody has sexual urges, right? For two, if you are masturbating, it's the safest sex. Like, you winning. Masturbation is the safest sex you could ever have because you can't spread nothing to yourself. You know what I mean? You can't do that shit. So use really the safest sex you can have. And then for three, it's good to masturbate because you're learning yourself, especially as a woman. Like, men, I think I assume, I don't know, but I assume it's a little bit easier for men to, you know, masturbate, get it over with, and just, come, But for women, we have it's like a secret passageway in there. Like, it'd be a secret nook or spot that you gotta hit, that you gotta touch, so that you can really relieve yourself of all that sexual tension. And, it's good to learn yourself. Don't be afraid to learn yourself. Don't be afraid to go down there, and, you know, get your hands dirty, in a sense. Hopefully, hopefully y'all know what I mean. Hopefully it's not dirty down there, but get your hands wet or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so um yeah, so number two thing is that you may masturbate more often than others. Which is totally fine, because if you are a nympho and you think to yourself like, I don't want to masturbate, and you're just constantly having sex with people and you're not even like in a relationship, or you might just have a few people that you have sex with or whatever, that could be, that could be a little, dangerous to yourself, to your health, so masturbation, like I said, it's like it's the safest sex you can have. So masturbate more, y'all. Anyways, and then the third thing is, if you are a nympho, like, the third way of knowing that you might be a nympho is you're open to like new sexual acts. So what I mean by that is, like, if you've never tried something before and you're dating somebody, you're dating this new guy, and he's like, I want to put it in your ass. or I wanna come on your chest or whatever, like whatever. If you're with somebody and a guy's like he wants to do something that you've never tried before, and you usually would be hesitant towards it, but because you're a nympho and because you have such like this extra sexual urge, like you might just try it. You might just try it. Not to say that you will try every and anything, because I know some nymphos that are very selective about how they do things and they don't stray away from that. But if you're open to it. Some women are not even open to anything new. They just want the same old. They don't want nothing new, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Some women are like that. But some women like to try out multitude of things, and some women are just open to it, depending on how it goes. Just depending on how it goes, right? So if you're open to being, being in a three-way or whatever the case may be, being in some type of um, new sexual surroundings or situations, then and you're comfortable with that, and you don't feel like, um, you're comfortable with it enough to at least try, then you might be an info. So those are the three ways that you might be an info. Oh, and I meant to say this at the very beginning. I forgot. But nympho, the definition by Google, is an obsession with sexual thoughts, urges, or behaviors that might cause distress or negative effects on health, job, or relationships. Now, what I wanted to say about that was, so I'm gonna read that one more time. An obsession, hypersexuality, this is what it says under it. It says an obsession with sexual thoughts, urges, or behaviors that might cause distress or that negative effects on health, job, or relationships. Now, the reason why I want to read that is because if you look this up, you might think to yourself like, oh my God, like that's, horrible. That somebody's like letting sex control their life so much. You know what I mean? That's fucked up. But if you scroll down, go to the next description. There's one that says someone normal female that eats, breathes, and lives for sex. She dreams about it often, playing in it over so much in her mind that she is never tired of sex. That's not what it says, but I'm sure I'm paraphrasing. But so with that being said, and then the second one is a freaky sex kitten with a very lucky boyfriend. And I know some of y'all are out there like, yeah, that's me. Because when you think about, like, when you look up the word nympho and you think about what it is, some people have a negative connotation or thought process on it. And honestly, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be fearful of. Claim your power, sis. Claim that, if you're a nympho, be a nympho. It's nothing wrong with it, because at the end of the day, sex is good. We all love sex. Who doesn't love sex? We all love sex. So, with that being said, if you are a nympho, you know what I mean? Don't shy away from it. Just, stand up. Stand up, sis, if you're a nympho. And hopefully you'll be able to find you a nympho partner, because I know it's hard out here for a nympho. I know it's hard to find somebody who's going to be able to fulfill your sexual needs often, if not all the time, because we require a lot of maintenance. So I know that it can be hard, but what I would suggest is, first of all, masturbate a lot if you have the time, and second of all, just be true to yourself. Whatever makes you comfortable, do that, and always be clean, always use condoms, always be safe. Safe sex is the best sex, you know what I mean? So don't be out here just doing whatever with anybody. But from my personal experience, that's not necessarily always the case, or necessarily something that I always was thinking about being with a whole rack of other people. I'm very selective, so I could understand other nymphos being very selective. So, I just wanted to put that out there and just let y'all know, it's okay if you're a nympho. Embrace it, sis. You have a lot of nympho sisters out here, just in case you didn't know. There are a lot of us out here. I know we hiding in the woodworks trying to, be around regular people. Just hiding in with everybody else. But it's okay to be you. It's okay to be sexual. It's okay to be sexy. It's okay to masturbate. And it's okay if you're thinking about sex when somebody is talking to you about bananas. Have a great day. Peace.